Hi guys, today we're going to be talking about pointless reboots, but we're also going to be talking about not so pointless reboots. So, first of all, we have this Romance in the Stone reboot, which I think is kind of pointless because, like, what they should do is actually have um another sequel because, obviously it's already had one sequel, which was Jewel of the Nile. Um, it's like Michael Douglas is still alive for Christ's sake. Why not just bring him back for a sequel? Like, is it because they think he's too old? Well, that's just being ageist. They're still bringing Harrison Ford back for Indiana Jones 5, and he's quite old. Like, they still brought Harrison Ford back for Star Wars The Force Awakens, and they brought Mark Hamill back for Star Wars The Last Jedi. So like, why don't they do an Ant-Man situation where Michael Douglas's Hank Pym is the old Ant-Man, and then obviously Paul Rudd's Ant-Man is the new Ant-Man. Like so they could do a similar thing with Romance in the Stone. They could have um Michael Douglas show up as this old hero, but then you have a new hero as well. So the new hero has a love interest, similar to obviously Michael Douglas's love interest in the first Romance in the Stone film was the Kathleen Turner character. Anyway, that's just my thoughts on that. So moving on, and yes, that's right. They're going to do a reboot of The Bodyguard as well, which I think is another pointless reboot. I mean, it's almost like they're spitting on Whitney Houston's grave. What is the point of this? Like whatever singer they get in the film, she's not going to be as good as Whitney Houston. What is the sense of this? Anyway, and then we move on to yet another reboot, which is Dirty Dancing. Yes, they're rebooting Dirty Dancing. Like, why? This is spitting on Patrick Swayze's grave, pretty much. It's just pointless. Like, this is just gonna get yes, Dirty Dancing and The Bodyguard has male fans, but it also has female fans. Both properties do. So, you know, but now we're just going to move on to the reboots that I think are actually necessary, and that would be Flash Gordon, Masters of the Universe, and and well, I would say Gremlins, but it's not really a reboot. It's going to be like a sequel, Gremlins 3. Like, um, so basically, oh, actually, I forgot to mention another pointless reboot is Police Academy because it's never going to have the same amount of humor as the original films. And the humor will probably be different as well. I.e., not as funny. Like, because of things aren't as funny nowadays because of all the political correctness and stuff. So you have to go to places like YouTube to find stuff which is truly funny. Like, because like people can basically say whatever they want on YouTube and do whatever they want on YouTube within reason. Otherwise, if they go too far, then their videos get taken down. But like, it's like if they tried to reboot like the Carry On franchise, like it just wouldn't be the same, would it? Like, wouldn't be the same humor. Like, anyway, like if there was an actor like Sid James nowadays, like he would just be accused of being sexist and stuff. Like, so basically, right? Um, like with Flash Gordon, Masters of the Universe, and Gremlins, like like those reboots and sequels, like they would be like highly profitable, I feel, because like dads would be saying um to their kids, "Oh, these were things that I used to watch when I was a kid," and yeah, and they would basically take their kids to go and see this stuff. Whereas, like things like the Dirty Dancing reboot, for example, like that's just gonna piss most people off, like especially women. Like Gremlins 3 could go two ways. It could be really bad or it could be really good. Like, we don't want Gremlins 3 to turn out like Star Wars The Last Jedi, put it that way. Like, um, basically, I'm hoping that the Masters of the Universe reboot isn't going to be as cheesy as like and corny as that Dolph Lundgren one was. Um, but here's an interesting fact for you, right? The guy who played Skeletor in the Dolph Lundgren Masters of the Universe film, he actually plays Gabriel in the Americans. I literally only found that out today. What a random fact. Anyway, so basically, right, I feel they should reboot Action Man at the end of the day. Like, because, like, I feel like a reboot of Action Man would have a similar appeal as, like, a Masters of the Universe reboot and a Flash Gordon reboot. Like, well, if not more appeal, in fact. Like, 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 I'm a fan of the original, like, Action Man cartoon, but also the more up to date one, like the CGI one. So, like, it's always been my dream, like, ever since I was a kid, like, to have, like, these characters, Grinder, Ricky, and Fissure, meeting these older characters like Nuck, Natalie, and that guy in the wheelchair that I can never remember his bloody name. Um, so, basically, like, like, the feminism has gone crazy nowadays, right? What with all of this like social justice warrior mumbo jumbo. But like, don't get me wrong, I am a bit of a feminist, but like sometimes like it just like feminism just goes too far though. Like like especially when it starts like infecting like Star Wars movies, like with like characters like Amelin Holdo and Rose, who are probably like two of the worst Star Wars characters ever invented. Like literally, like Look, Ray is an awesome representation of women, like just like Leia is. But when it comes to like Rose and Amelin Holdo, that those two are bloody awful representations of women. Anyway, like take Natalie in Action Man for example. She's like an awesome representation of women as well. Like like one of the main things that pissed me off about Last Jedi, it was almost like Rey was saying to Luke, like, piss off, I'm the main character now. Like it was just so like stupid. Um like basically with like the reason the original Dirty Dancing worked so well was because um it was because like Patrick Swayze's part and like the female part, um, like they were almost equal roles. But you can almost bet your life that if they rebooted this, like like the woman would almost be like lording it over the man, pretty much. Like right, here's another random fact for you. The one who plays Coulson in the MCU is actually married to this actress in real life. I can't remember what her name is now. Um, so anyway, right, the reason that well, there are various reasons why Action Man hasn't been rebooted yet, and it's not even planned at the moment. Like, but some of the I'm just going to point out some of the main reasons. Number one is that Action Man like shows men in too much of a good light, and it shows men to be strong and powerful, and that goes against like the feminist agendas. And number two, they think that in these modern markets, Action Man doesn't have a place. Well, I'm sorry, but he has more of a place than bloody Geordie Shore and Towie and all of that garbage. Like, and Big Brother. Like, I mean, like, some people call Action Man childish. Well, let's just be frank here. Like, Geordie Shore is more childish in my books. Like, just they just like behave like a bunch of piss heads in that program because they are a bunch of piss heads. Like, yeah, I think the cast of Geordie Shore like literally needs shooting or taken back to the nursery at least. Anyway, like, but these reasons, like, not to bring Action Man back, are not valid in my books. Like, because you could have like spin-off films like to do with Natalie. Well, Natalie is probably my favorite Action Man character, in fact. Like, and if you had like spin-off films to do with Natalie, then the feminist agendas are met. So what have you got to complain about? Like, it's like, for example, like lately I've been doing videos about Kitty Pryde, aka Shadowcat, and suddenly like a Kitty Pryde movie has been announced. So I'm hoping if I just keep going on about Action Man, then they'll eventually decide to reboot it. Um, so basically, like loads of kids nowadays, they've got all this like random shit like iPads, iPhones, bloody Lego Ninjago, but like Action Man is just not there anymore. Like Action Man started to die out when you introduce this bullshit, which is out for teens on machines.